Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing okay. Now what I'm going to show you in this video is how to introduce stoichiometry, leftovers, limiting reactants to students, how to engage them in class, especially if you're online or whether you're online or not. I think this is the best way to introduce such type of topics, stoichiometry, leftover, and limiting reactants. So what I would normally use as this very nice simulation website, it's called Phet Colorado Simulation Chemistry. You just write Phet Colorado Simulation Chemistry. It's a simulation that does not only include chemistry, as you're gonna see here, just gonna pop up like this, and then you click here, you can see simulations. If you click here, you're gonna see simulations for physics, chemistry, math, biology. Anyways, what we're interested in currently is chemistry, so I'm just gonna click here, and then you're gonna see 110s of topics, really nice topics that really interesting and really can engage students, from balancing how to balance chemical equations to concentration, molarity, how to make just beginning, how to build an atom, how to build a molecule, the very basic chemistry, to kinetic molecular theory, molecular polarity, VSEPR. They have amazing simulations for VSEPR. What we are interested in this topic is about reactants, products, and leftovers. I'm gonna click here. Once you click here, you have this option that I'm gonna click in a minute on it. But before I go there, you click here for teachers. This has a video that would show you exactly how to use the simulation, how you are going to teach your students. Or actually, what I recommend is that if this is your first time you're doing it, I highly recommend that you visit this video, listen to the instructor what she's saying, and try it by yourselves. Now I'm just gonna brief you here how it works and how I give it to my students. So once I click, it's gonna take me into a page that has 3 sandwiches, molecules, and a games. So I'm gonna click here on the sandwich. You can see that here they're putting 2 bread plus 1 cheese is gonna give you a sandwich. As if this is your reaction, you can go, you have here the cheese or meat and cheese or custom, and then here you have the reactants and products and leftovers. So students are going to play with those values in a way in order to check how they're increasing the number of moles or the amount of reactants in order to get products. And then if they're adding more of one of the reactants, what would happen to it, or if there is, in other words, a short supply of the other reactant, how it's no more there. And then after that, they can also make sandwiches of meat and cheese and the bread, and they can also customize it. Students would figure out that no matter how much they're gonna increase the number of cheese and bread and this meat, they're not gonna get a product unless you have a minimum of reactant of each. So here I'm resetting, and then I'm going to click custom here. So they need to know that they cannot get anything except if they start with initial reactants, initial amount of at least 1 of each reactant. And then I'm gonna put here 2, and I'm gonna put here say you have here 3, and then here I'm gonna put 3, and then here I'm gonna put 1. And then students, the common mistake that students would consider is that because this one I have the minimum amount of it, it's 2, so therefore this is going to be the limiting reactant, and this is going to be the one that's left over. Here they can see that it's not the case, so they can relate it here to the amount that's given in the main equation that was given to them. Then after what they deduce from those basic, for example, kitchen chemistry, they can go to molecules, and they can play here with real molecules, from molecules in water to ammonia to methane. And then after they finish, they can go to games. And then what's really nice about those games is that they go from level to another, from an easy level to a hard level, here to a hard level. Now, I didn't go into details for this. If this is the first time you use it, I highly recommend that you do them by yourself before you introduce it to your students. And this video here for teachers. Once you log in and you sign in with your credentials, this video is only like 5-minute video, but it's really helpful for you how you're gonna introduce it to your students, and what's the goal, what's the outcome of this doing of introducing this topic to students via simulation. Now, what I normally give to my students when I ask them to do the simulation, I wouldn't leave them. I know that some students would just start playing with no objective, nothing in front of them. So what I would give my students is this. You can always click here. If you notice here, these are all activities that you can use them, and you can check one by one. Maybe one of them you would like it more than the one I chose, and then you can send it to your students and they can follow it. So here I clicked on the sandwich stoichiometry, and then I send this to my student. They can just directly here, they can click. For example, if they put 8 pieces of bread and 8 pieces of cheese, they're gonna check for the amount of products and leftovers. And then this Word document is gonna take them step by step all over the whole simulation, step by step, until they get the idea of what it means of leftovers. They can relate the amount that they're getting to the amount that's present in the reaction. And then at the end, it's going to take them to the games, and then in the games they can go from low level to high level. I hope this has interested you, and I hope you really like it. What I normally do regarding the group work is, after I meet my students, after I do a meeting with my students, I just make them, divide them into groups via the breakout rooms, the really nice rooms. And here you have the breakout rooms. You can divide the students automatically, and then you can divide students either automatically or manually. You just need to choose here the number of rooms, and that's it. You would divide, depends on the number of students you want, and you just create your rooms, and then you are ready for your students to work. And then of course here at the beginning you would send your students via the attachment. You upload from the computer, and you just upload here the file that you want them to see and they want them to fill out. That's it. I hope you like it, and I hope it was interesting to you. Please add your comments if you need anything, if you need me to explain more and more about any of this.